swear that I must have a second-gen Dodge curse. It seems that lately, every truck I touch breaks. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. Announcement time as usual. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at purepanorama19. You guys will be able to get sneak peeks at the parts we get for the truck, just behind the scenes type of stuff that the channel doesn't get to see right away. Everyone who follows me on Instagram gets to see that stuff first, so if you want to be one of the first to know what's going on, definitely go over there and give me a follow. Remember that we have links in the video description to tools and parts and AMSOIL, everything that I use here on the truck at the garage that you guys are always asking me about is all linked up down below for your convenience, so you can find it nice and easy and then get that stuff for yourself if you're looking for it. Those links will give you guys good parts and also help the channel bring you better content. And Diesel Auto Power is still running that huge tax return sale. It runs until April 30th, so if you guys need some parts for your truck, this is a great opportunity to save some money on things like injectors, turbo, all sorts of other stuff. They have it all, so whatever your truck needs for this spring and summer, definitely take advantage of this sale. Check out their website, give those guys a call and let them know that Josh from Pure Panorama sent you, and they'll get you all squared away. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the topic of this video, which is, well, any truck that I've seen to touch lately just wants to break. You guys know that my 01 24 valve Cummins is currently down and out. Well, I could be driving it, but I'm choosing not to drive it right now just because I don't want to put any more stress on it and potentially harm anything else. So we are letting it sit here in the driveway for the moment. I'm pretty positive we know what is wrong with it. I am just doing some homework on what parts I want to get to make this repair. I promise I'll make a video soon explaining what the hell's going on with the truck and filling you guys in, bringing you all up to speed. I know you guys are pretty anxious probably and want to know what is happening with the truck, and I'm sure some of you guys could help me pinpoint the exact issue. Even though I think I know what's going on with it and I'm pretty set on what the problem is, I could still be wrong, and you guys could probably help me figure it out 100%. Be patient, bear with me, and I promise that I'll make that video soon talking about what's going on with the Cummins. As for old sexy silver here, the 99.59 Magnum, we are experiencing what feels to be like a miss. Everything on the truck feels good when you're cruising and driving, you're getting into the throttle and taking off from a stop, getting up to speed. Everything seems to be working as it should, but the problem comes about when you come to a stoplight or a stop sign and you are just sitting there idling, foot's on the brake, and the truck has a little stutter and it is just kind of jerking you a little bit. I originally was thinking that maybe the cat converter on this was starting to break up and starting to plug and it was causing this issue, but we're not having the issue when we get into the throttle and we're getting up to speed or cruising down the road. And I feel like if it was the cat converter, then we would be experiencing it at an idle while we're stopped, and also driving down the road it would be hard for the truck to accelerate going up and down hills. It's not the cat converter. So the only other main thing that would pop into my head as far as what could be causing this problem would be spark plugs, cap, rotor, wires, something along those lines. The wires, the plugs, the cap, and the rotor are all new on this truck. They were just replaced a few months back. So if that is what the issue is, then that's kind of crazy, because this stuff is not that old. It's all relatively new, and it would make me wonder what the hell would cause new parts like that to cause this issue. Luckily for me, when Gary did the plugs and wires on this, he got rid of those god-awful heat shields that are usually down here around the boots on the spark plug wires, so I don't have to contend with those. That's one thing that I actually didn't do on my half-ton with the 360 Magnum in it. I should have pulled those heat shields out too, because they're honestly just a pain in the ass when it comes to changing the plugs and the wires. When you rip those things out, it makes it far easier to access everything down there when you have to change something. So these four here on the passenger side should be fairly easy to get to just looking at them here. I may rip this air intake off just to make it a little bit easier on myself. Those two right here in the front will be relatively easy. The ones that are going to probably give me the biggest fight are the ones that are right there in the back underneath all the brake stuff. For anyone who's wondering what I'm talking about when I mention the heat shields around the boots of the plug wires, I'm talking about these right there. he actually left those two on. He must not have been able to get those ones out. So that's what I'm talking about. Now, if we come over here on the passenger side and look, there's not that metal heat shield up around this boot, so you can access the boot a lot easier and pull up on it to take it off the plug, hopefully without putting stress on the wire and just pulling the whole thing apart and then having to find other ways to separate everything in order to change your spark plugs. So for starters, to look for this little issue that we're having, which again feels like a misfire on one of the cylinders, all I was doing was checking to make sure that the spark plug wires are tight and connected to the plugs and on the back of the distributor cap there up behind the intake plenum. For anyone who's not familiar with these 5.9 360 Magnum gas engines, if we get up in here and look, it's gonna be kind of tough to see probably, but if we look right down in here, it's right down in there. That's where your distributor cap and rotor and all that stuff is. It's a little hard to get to. It's not as bad when you have the stock components up here on top of the intake plenum. When I had my half ton, I had a throttle body spacer on, and let me tell you, it was a nightmare to get to the distributor cap and replace it. I would much rather replaced it on this engine than on mine. But either way, it is a little tricky to do because you can't see back there, so you have to use an inspection mirror. So all I did just now was more or less check the spark plug wires. All that stuff is brand new. It is only a few months old, I think. So it's all been replaced. New plugs, new wires, new cap and rotor. Everything feels tight, everything feels good. And then I was also opening up the throttle body and shining a light down in there to see if there was any pools of oil down inside. And what that would mean is that the gasket for the intake plenum is bad and you are getting oil in the intake, and that would not be good. I don't know if I can get a shot down inside there to show you what I see. There is a little bit of film, but nothing's gonna be as clean as a whistle and looking brand new, that's for sure. Especially on an old engine like this, it has 100 and almost 50,000 miles. You're gonna find a little something. You just don't wanna see a lot of something. Give me a second to see if I can get my light set up though, and then maybe I can try and get a camera angle to show you down inside there so you can see what I'm talking about. So I was able to fit the little camera up in there and get somewhat of a shot, and I'm gonna put that up on the screen right now. And what you're gonna see is basically just like a little bit of film, I'd call it, on the bottom of the intake. Well, I've looked at all the simple basic stuff that I could look at on this truck without having much time to really tear all this stuff apart and really dive into it, and all the things I looked at seem to be all right. The plug wires are in good shape, the vacuum lines are in good shape, the plug wires are tight on the spark plugs and on the distributor cap. I looked down in the throttle body to see if there was any pooling oil down inside there. At this point, I'm kind of out of time, and I've already kind of hit on everything that first comes to mind when an issue like this pops up on a 360 Magnum engine truck. Maybe tomorrow after work I'll have some more time and we can take more of a look at it, but for now I think that's all there is to it, and we're gonna wrap this one up. If you guys could hit that thumbs up button for me on your way out, I would greatly appreciate it. It really does help the channel with growth and getting the videos recommended to new people. If you are new and you have not subscribed yet, what are you doing, bro? Hit that subscribe button, join the family, turn on those post notifications so you never miss a new upload. I can see that like 80-something% of the people who view the videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you are one of those guys who just pops by to watch the videos and you haven't joined the family yet, definitely do that. We got some things in the works right now for the channel that you are not going to want to miss out on. Don't forget about our links in the video description that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. They help the channel bring you better content and also give you guys great parts for your truck. And also the huge tax return sale going on at Diesel Auto Power until April 30th. Definitely take advantage of that, and I will hopefully see you guys soon with another new video. See ya.